From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Today, more Hoosiers will be able to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Now at 4:30, who's eligible and how you can sign up.
Plus, a state lawmaker hopes to address racial disparities in the healthcare system. This morning, details on the proposed legislation to implement new training standards for healthcare professionals.
And this morning, federal investigators are now working to determine the level of planning and coordination that led to the Capitol riots. We have the latest from Washington as the fallout continues. First here at 4:30, I want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Megan Shin. Of course, we're hoping to see a little bit more sun as we go into this Monday. But Todd, I don't know if that's going to happen.
New work week, same old story in the weather department here. The clouds thinned for some sunshine on Saturday, then they came back in on Sunday. Yesterday was a pretty gray day, and today I think it's going to be tough once again to get these clouds out of here as we're just stuck in this pattern that just hasn't changed, and we have a lot of moisture just stuck in the low levels of the atmosphere, and that's why we're dealing with all this cloud cover. Temperatures this morning, though, running a little bit colder. We're in the mid-20s, 25 in Indy, 26 in Bloomington. You factor in a little bit of a wind out there, and there are some wind chill values that are in the teens. Now, some of these wind chill values don't really kick in until a certain hour, and so that's why you see some still in the 20s, but it does feel like the teens out there. Here are the clouds that are around. No visibility issues, though. That is the good news. Few flurries. I saw them on my way into work. You'll see a couple probably throughout the course of the day, but nothing substantial, at least weather-wise in the forecast. That storm system stays to our south, so just grab the jacket. You'll need it here this morning with temperatures, Lauren, that are going to be in the 20s at least through the noon hour.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at your commute this morning as you're heading out the door. Here's a look near the downtown area, I-65 near West Street and MLK. Traffic here is traveling along up to speed. No major crashes or issues to slow you down. Of course, we'll continue to keep a close eye on your commute this morning. We'll let you know if there are any trouble spots to avoid. It is 4:32 as officials continue to make arrests following the violent attack on the U.S. Capitol. Federal authorities are now working to determine the level of planning and coordination among the insurgents.
That's right, Lauren. One of the top questions was there a plan to capture members of Congress and hold them hostage? Jessica Schneider has the latest from Washington, including what officials are doing to keep lawmakers safe as fears of more violence continue.
There is a lot of concern as we move into a new week and closer to the inauguration in the wake of last week's attack on the U.S. Capitol. The Capitol now surrounded by a 7-foot non-scalable fence and hundreds of National Guard members. They will be sent in for the inauguration next Wednesday. That includes 1,000 members from New York, 6,200 from across the country. And so far, nearly 24 people have been charged federally for their involvement in the violent mob that stormed the Capitol. That includes a man who was found with 11 homemade bombs in his truck parked near the Capitol, plus a handgun, assault rifle, and ammunition. And prosecutors say that man actually had 2 handguns on him when police finally found him. Then there was another man charged with allegedly sending text messages threatening injury to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. When he was found, he had firearms, including an assault rifle and hundreds of rounds of ammunition that was in the truck that he had parked outside of a Holiday Inn hotel in Washington. But this is likely just the beginning of the charges. The acting U.S. attorney in D.C. now says hundreds of people may end up under arrest as they continue this investigation that encompasses hundreds of prosecutors and FBI agents working from 3 command centers 24/7. And finally, there is some growing concern for the safety of members of Congress, many of whom we've seen in videos yelled at, surrounded in airports as they traveled to and from Washington. Well, this weekend we learned that all members will be able to get increased security when they travel through airports. U.S. Capitol Police, they're coordinating with other law enforcement agencies to make sure those protections happen to keep those members of Congress safe. Jessica Schneider, CNN, Washington.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wants to use part of the 14th Amendment to remove members of Congress who may have had a part in Wednesday's riots. The amendment allows representatives to remove other members of Congress if they violated their oath by engaging in insurrection or rebellions. Representative Cori Bush said she plans to introduce the resolution, and she went on to say, quote, "We can't truly have unity without accountability." Also this morning, the House is expected to introduce articles of impeachment. They will then then vote on a resolution calling on Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove President Trump from office. We'll have details on how that process works coming up at 5 o'clock, Lauren.
And Governor Eric Holcomb has directed all flags here in the state to be flown at half staff in honor of Capitol Police officers Brian Sicknick and Howard Liebengood. Both officers were on duty during Wednesday's insurrection at the Capitol. Officer Sicknick was injured while engaging with rioters and collapsed after returning to his department. Liebengood, meanwhile, died while off duty. That's according to a statement by Capitol Police released on Sunday. This announcement did not state Officer Liebengood's cause of death. Flags at both homes and businesses should remain at half staff until sunset on Wednesday. And meanwhile, the U.S. Capitol Police has named a new acting chief. Yoganada Pittman will be the first woman and African-American to serve in that position. She's been with the department since 2001. Pittman is succeeding former Chief Stephen Sund, who stepped down following Wednesday's riots. She will also join the U.S. Capitol Police Board, which oversees security on Capitol Hill. Pittman led the efforts to provide the security footprint for the 2013 presidential inauguration.
Turning now to the ongoing coronavirus crisis and its impact on Hoosier lives. State health officials report more than 5,000 new cases of COVID-19 have been found. Those cases were reported between December 30th and Saturday. To date, more than 563,000 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the virus. Our 7-day positivity rate is just over 16%. State health officials also report an additional 18 Hoosier deaths. The deaths, which were recorded between last Wednesday and Saturday, raised Indiana's death toll to 8,613. And thousands more Hoosiers will be able to get their vaccines starting today. Many local health departments, including Marion County, will start administering the COVID-19 vaccine to seniors 80 and older. Medical workers and members of law enforcement are also eligible to receive the vaccine. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett says the focus right now is to ensure residents stay safe and informed. All appointments are made online through the state website. That website is ourshot.in.gov. Eligible seniors and first responders can also call 211 for more information. State health officials say nearly 86,000 Hoosiers age 80 or older have scheduled appointments to get vaccinated.
And a state lawmaker wants to address racial disparities in our healthcare system. Representative Robin Shackelford is introducing legislation that would require medical professionals to go through cultural awareness and diversity training. That proposed legislation follows the deaths of 2 local doctors. Last month, Dr. Susan Moore died of COVID-19 after she complained of receiving improper medical care at IU Health North Hospital because she was black. 2 months before that, Dr. Shanice Wallace died after giving birth due to pregnancy complications. Both women's deaths gained national attention, with many highlighting the racial disparities in health care.
Minorities feel they're not listened to by their healthcare staff, by their doctors. Sometimes they feel like they're talked down to. If they ask questions, they're getting very intimidated. What this will do will create a statewide requirement that we are actually collecting data of patients' experiences based on their race, their religion, their sex, their sexual orientation, their disability status.
This training will be designed by the Office of Minority Health along with the State Department of Health, ensuring people of color have input. Representative Shackelford says the bill is still in the review process. Once it is filed, she urges you to reach out to your legislator if this is something you want them to support.
Lauren, good news for Pacers fans. A limited number of fans will be allowed into Bankers Life Fieldhouse starting this month. Tickets go on sale next Tuesday, January 19th for games between January 24th and March 4th. Initially, sales will be limited to approximately 1,000 tickets per game. Gradual increases could happen for games later on in the season, and the Pacers have hosted games in front of empty stands since the season began. That was on December 23rd. And a Carmel teen is collecting hundreds of old cell phones for a good cause. Coming up, how she's giving a lifeline to those who don't have a voice.
And your 2020 taxes are likely going to be a little more complicated. Straight ahead, what you need to know before you file. Todd?
And Lauren, you may see a few flurries outside as you get going on this Monday morning. No accumulation, no big issues for us. The main storm system staying to our south once again, where it's snowing in Mississippi this morning as well as Alabama. We'll break down the week ahead for you coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
Keller and Keller.
Welcome back. So a local Girl Scout is collecting used cell phones in an effort to help victims of domestic violence. 17-year-old Katie Dunn collected phones Sunday at the Carmel Police Department. It all started when a neighbor put out a group text asking if anyone had a spare phone for her friend. That friend and her young children had been kicked out of their home by an abusive husband. They didn't have any belongings and no way to contact someone for help. Dunn heard about their story and wanted to do something, so she started the phone drive last year, and her mom says she's very proud of Katie for taking action.
Very caring about other people, which you can't ask for more than that, is to have a loving, caring daughter or offspring, right?
Well, the phones will be donated to the Julian Center, which provides shelter and supports to victims of domestic violence right here in Indiana.
Now, a local church is planning to make a major investment in its neighborhood. New Direction Church in Indianapolis was awarded a $75,000 grant from the Lilly Endowment. That money will be used to help pay for rent, family groceries, scholarships, and to help with housing. Pastor Ken Sullivan says even though the church isn't holding service inside right now, there's still a ministry and work to be done.
This was something we were blindsided by the blessing. I got a phone call from Lily's Endowment, and they said that they wanted to speak to us. It was at the end of 2020. And so I was on the phone conference with them, and they shared with us their desire to help us make a difference. They highlighted us and they thanked us for the work that we've done in our community. And they said, we want to be a blessing to you all so that you can continue the efforts.
Great news. And along with the grant money, New Direction is putting up $25,000 of their own funds to support the programs. Lauren.
Great story there. It is 4:44. It's that time again to start thinking about filing your taxes. And this year you may have a more complicated situation all due to the pandemic, but it could also mean some extra cash back in your pocket. A lot of it has to do with the stimulus packages. If you had a baby in 2020 after the first stimulus checks went out, you may qualify for more money on your taxes. Young adults who may be filing taxes on their own for the first time that were left out of the stimulus could qualify now. There were several other tax breaks extended in the COVID relief bill, including for parents helping to pay for their children's college and those with mortgage insurance premiums.
Congress will soon be learning more about recent UFO sightings. That's thanks to a clause in a new spending bill. As part of the legislation, the Director of National Intelligence and Secretary of Defense must provide an unclassified report in the next 6 months. The report must contain detailed analysis of spotted UFOs and identify any potential national security threats. Last April, the Pentagon released 3 short videos showing an identified aerial phenomenon. The U.S. Navy had previously confirmed those videos were real.
Very interesting. Well, President-elect Joe Biden will not be the only one getting some fanfare when he enters the White House next week. His rescue dog, Major, is being honored with his own inauguration. The Delaware Humane Association and Pumpkin Pet Insurance are teaming up to host this virtual ceremony celebrating the nation's first shelter dog. A $10 minimum donation is required for those who want to join this Zoom event. All of the proceeds will go to the Delaware Humane Association. While Major is set to become the first shelter dog in the White House, he's not the first rescue. Before him came Yuki, a mixed breed pup who was abandoned at a gas station and rescued by President Lyndon B. Johnson's daughter, Lucy. President Bill Clinton's family's cat, Socks, was also a rescue. Major's inauguration is set for January 17th. All right, back here at home, we got to talk about our forecast, a brand new work week. Todd, what are we working with?
Yeah, more in the way of clouds here, unfortunately, Lauren, as we go forward throughout, at least today, as we work our way towards the middle of the week. I do think we'll start to bring some sunshine back into the forecast, but these clouds, they have just not moved out. They've been very, very stubborn, and I think they're going to be pretty stubborn here throughout the day, at least especially from Indianapolis to the north. There is a brief warming trend that is heading our way in the coming days. Our temperatures will get back up into the 40s, and then by the end of the week, there could be another push of some pretty good cold air that's going to come in, and that'll bring the potential with some snow showers into the area. So let's dive into the forecast. Here's your view outside right now as you look from downtown off to the north with the clouds in place. 25 degrees, that's the current temperature, but it feels like a 16, so you definitely need to bundle up here this morning. The wind's not super strong, but with temperatures in the mid-20s, obviously enough to factor in wind chills that are in the teens. Everybody's in the 20s this morning, 24 in Crawfordsville, as well as Martinsville, 27 in Bedford. Wind chill values range from 16 in Indy to 16 as well in Peru. 19 is what it feels like as you start your Monday off in the new work week here in the Terre Haute area. Temperatures today will slowly climb out of the 20s. It's going to be a very slow process, though, here throughout the course of the day. And even by the noon hour, we're still looking at a temperature that's only right around 28 degrees. By 2 p.m., the temperature is sitting right around 30 degrees. And then we only get up to about 31, 32 for your afternoon high later on this afternoon, with skies that will start to thin just a little bit. It's just one of those deals, again, that will never completely get rid of the clouds, but the clouds will start to thin, mainly in some southern locations this afternoon, for a little bit of sunshine. Now, I saw a few flurries on my way into work this morning, and you may too here throughout the morning hours, but it's not going to amount to anything. Big storm system to our south. How about this? Austin, Texas now has more snow this year than we do here in Indianapolis, with this storm that brought them snow yesterday. Snow in Mississippi, Alabama this morning, and that storm system is going to bypass us to the south. We will not get into any significant precipitation. The skies should start to clear a little bit overnight. It's a chilly evening back down into the 20s, and then overnight tonight you wake the temperatures in the 20s as well. Throughout the day tomorrow, we get back up to about 40 degrees, so a little bit of a warming trend. It'll feel pretty nice as we work a little more in the way of sunshine back into the forecast for the day tomorrow. 44 on Wednesday, and then we get that push of colder air as it comes in. Some snow showers a possibility Friday and Saturday. Doesn't look like a major storm system, Lauren, but there could be some minor accumulation across parts of the area.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look right now at your commute as you're heading out on the roads. This is over on the southwest side of town, I-465 near Man Road. You can see traffic there is traveling smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. I'm not monitoring any crashes to slow it down your Monday morning drive at this hour, but of course I'll keep you updated. Megan?
Thank you, Lauren. Well, Amazon is investing $2 billion in affordable housing. The investment will be in 3 cities over the next 5 years. Those cities are Seattle, Nashville, and Arlington, Virginia. Amazon says it plans to have at least 5,000 employees in each of those cities. The company has been criticized in the past for gentrifying areas where it has opened large operations and driving up the cost of housing. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos says the money will also help local families achieve long-term stability in those communities. No word yet on if the company will expand affordable housing investments in other cities, Lauren.
Well, new this morning, Megan, the PGA has pulled the 2022 championship from the Trump National Golf Course located in Bedminster, New Jersey. The board voted on the move overnight. That organization says that holding the event there would damage its brand. In response to the move, the Trump organization released a statement saying the decision to pull the championship from the Trump National Golf Course is a, quote, breach of a binding contract, and the PGA does not have the right to terminate it. The PGA Championship is one of 4 majors in men's professional golf. A replacement location has not yet been announced.
Lauren, General Motors has unveiled a substantially different logo for the first time since 1964. It's supposed to reflect the company's shift towards electric vehicles. The new M resembles an electric plug. You could see it right there. And the company says the color is supposed to evoke images of the sky. And the logo comes with a marketing campaign called Everybody In. The goal is to encourage more consumers to think an electric car is for them. GM plans to introduce 30 such vehicles by 2025.
Kind of just looks like lowercase letters to
does.
me, but okay, very deep. Well, there's still a chance for you to become a multimillionaire this week. Coming up, just how much the ballooning lottery jackpots are worth.
The isolation of the pandemic and postpartum depression is taking a toll on some young mothers. Ahead at 5, where you can turn for help if you're struggling. That's right after the break.
WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It's 4:55. Let's take a look at your commute right now to our south I-65. A view here at Stop 11 Road where traffic's traveling smoothly, both northbound and southbound on your interstate. We'll keep you updated if there are any issues you need to avoid, but right now things are pretty quiet. So lottery jackpots are on the rise. This after no one won the Powerball or the Mega Millions.
Can you believe it, Lauren? And as of this morning, the combined total jackpots are more than $1 billion. Whew. The Mega Millions jackpot has reached $600 million for just the 4th time in history. And while no one got the jackpot, 5 tickets worth of $1 million prizes were sold. And those were in California, Georgia, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and New York. The next drawing is Tuesday. As for the Powerball, the jackpot is $550 million. That's the 10th highest in the game's history ever. And the next drawing for Powerball is set for Wednesday. Todd, what would you do with all that money?
Well, I probably invest it and make some interest on it, and then I'd travel.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to call my mom, see if she played $1 million in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll pay for me to go on vacation. All right, here's your 7-day planning forecast. Today, lots of clouds, especially the first half of the day, but they should thin a little bit. But honestly, it's been tough to get them to thin, so it's not a guarantee. Warmer days for Tuesday and Wednesday, and even into Thursday before another colder push of air starts to come in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And as that colder air comes in, there will be the potential, it looks like Friday and even on Saturday, of some snow showers. Not a major storm system, but there could be some minor accumulation across the area. But until then, pretty quiet, with temperatures that will eventually run above normal here by midweek. Temperature right now is 24 degrees. The time is 4:57. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.